Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the first Regional Budget Day of 2018. I'm John DiGregorio, a Region 1 budget advocate and member of the Panorama City Neighborhood Council. Thank you for joining us today. As you know, change doesn't happen overnight, and politics rewards those who show up, so being in those seats is incredibly important to the change that we're trying to implement here in the city. So please, tell us what's on your mind. What's ailing your community and what do you want to see more of? Because today we're challenging you not only to air your grievances, but to come up with some solutions that we can put in our white paper and discuss with the mayor and the city council members. So, whether you're joining us here in the Valley, down in the harbor, on the west side, or at the zoo, your participation here today is going to make a huge difference. So we thank you very much for joining us. And now a message from our co-chair, Jay Handel.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 2018 Regional Budget Day. My name is Jay Handel, and I'm the co-chair of the Budget Advocates for the City of Los Angeles. We're here today because the budget is everything that this city runs on. You want your streets swept, trees trimmed, potholes filled, police responding, paramedics responding. It all comes down to budget. Our goal today is to find out from you, the stakeholders, are you happy with the services you're receiving? And if you're not, why, and how we can put it into our annual white paper to the mayor of how he can increase certain budgets to make it better for the city as a whole. Your opinion, your voice is what we need to hear. We, as your elected people from your neighborhood councils around the city, have an obligation to the city to report on budget and to report on city services. There's no question we've lost city services since 2008. And frankly, with a continuing budget deficit in the city, it makes it difficult to increase those services. So today we're asking you, are the services you're receiving what you want in a timely manner, or what's lacking? Or what would you actually like to have that we don't have or haven't had for years? So today is your opportunity. Fill in the blanks for us, because we're here to support your entire community and the services we need for a better quality of life to make Los Angeles the best city in the United States. So welcome. Hear what's going on, understand what we do, and give us all of your thoughts, please. Thank you for coming.
So no one expects you to digest the budget process all in one gulp. So here to help us break down his role in the process is Los Angeles City Controller Ron Galperin.
Hi, I'm Ron Galperin, Los Angeles City Controller. So great to be with you, at least on video today. And thank you so much for all of your work, being engaged and caring so much about the city of Los Angeles, about your neighborhoods, and particularly about the budget. I got interested in the budget many years ago before I even thought about running for controller, because I remember getting a letter from my then council member that explained to me why my street was not going to get repaved, and it explained how we just don't have enough money. And that led me on this odyssey to get obsessed with where does our money come from, where does it go, and why don't we have the money to do the things that we really want to get done. So I got involved as a budget advocate, and I learned so much from my fellow budget advocates, learned a lot about where the money was coming from and where it was going in the city, and eventually a whole bunch of things happened, and I found myself running for a controller, a job that I absolutely love to do. And of course, it's the job of the controller to be the watchdog for your money, to really make sure that we are doing it efficiently, to make sure that we're collecting everything that is due to the city so that we can provide the highest level of services to which each person who lives, does business, visits this city is entitled to. And so I love each and every one of the budget advocates, because what you're doing is going to make a big difference for the budget of this city and for the way that we operate.
So if you're still unsure that your input here will make a difference, here's some more comments from the controller to make sure that you understand just how integral you are in this process.
It's the responsibility of the controller's office to audit various departments of the city, and we do that along with various reports and white papers and other kinds of analysis of how are various services of the city operating, how is it that we're spending the money of the city. One of the ones that we did was looking at street services and at the repaving. We made a bunch of recommendations, including how the city should be realizing more money from utility companies that cut into our streets. I'm pleased to say that in the near future, we're going to hopefully be collecting a lot more of that money and then using that to actually repave more streets. And that's what the recommendations of our office are supposed to be about, are practical recommendations that can actually be put into place that can help improve city services and help improve the experience of each and every Angelino. Now, there was a question about what are opportunities and what are potential pitfalls for the city coming up when you look at it budgetarily. It goes without saying that there's never going to be enough money to do all the things that a city wants to do. And no matter how much our revenues might increase, we have to make sure that our expenditures do not increase at a higher rate than that. I'm concerned that we need to make sure that we have not just an adequate but a robust reserve fund. And also, we've seen revenues thankfully increase in a good amount over the course of the last couple of years since the Great Recession that we experienced. Back then, by the way, there were a lot of cuts in services as well as personnel. Some of that has been restored, but we've got to be really careful that we are not overcommitting ourselves, because while the economy has been doing great, we know that there are times when it's going to flatten out a little bit, and we got to be prepared for that. But in terms of what opportunities there are to do things better and to realize new revenues, first of all, I think the best way that you do that is to have a robust economy in the city of LA. And that means really working with the businesses of the city of LA so that we can create more jobs, so that we can have more entrepreneurs, so that people's incomes can go up. And with that, we're going to see a better economy and more revenues for the city as well. I'm also really interested in all the special funds of the city and the treasury of the city as a whole. There are billions of dollars, and we need to make sure that we're seeing the best rate of return and putting that money to its best use. And then there's the real estate of the city. We own more than 8,000 pieces of property, some more valuable than others. Some of them are going to stay exactly as they're being used, but some of them have a great opportunity to be better leveraged so that we can create some revenue from them on an ongoing basis. I've been working on that a lot and looking forward to seeing some real changes happen to that in the years to come. I think that there are a lot of ways for everyday Angelinos to be involved in the budget process of the City of Los Angeles. One of them, of course, is to be a budget advocate. But number one is to be informed, because the more you know, the more that you can exercise your right to be involved in everything having to do with how the City of Los Angeles operates. That's really vital. And also, I always believe that power is not necessarily given. Sometimes it's taken. And when budget advocates go out there and really advocate and know facts and have good ideas, it can make a huge difference. I've seen it happen, and I enjoy each and every year having multiple meetings with the budget advocates, and I'll be honest, I get some of my best ideas from them.
Believe it or not, this is my first year as a budget advocate, and it's incredibly motivating to find that our CAO is so grounded in the needs of our community. Please welcome our Chief Administrative Officer, Richard Llewellyn.
Hi, my name is Rich Llewellyn, and I'm the City Administrative Officer for the City of Los Angeles. My career in public service, in one sense, goes back to when I was a little kid in North Carolina, watching the Watergate hearings. The head of those hearings was North Carolina's senior senator. And watching those hearings made me want to be a lawyer and made me want to do something with my law degree. So I'm a lawyer by training. I spent some years in private practice, but most of the years have been in local government and a short stint in federal government in Washington. Local government, where I am in the city of Los Angeles, the reason I love it is it's because where the rubber meets the road. Yes, we make policy, but we also make decisions that affect people's lives today. We either fix their stop sign today or we don't. We either have an extra shift in the police department that does more rounds in their neighborhood or we don't. It's where the rubber meets the road. The City Administrative Office, which goes by the CAO, is the city's chief budget analyst. My staff helps prepare the budget for the mayor, and we provide financial analysis, fiscal analysis to both the mayor and the council. We're part of the watchdog for the public's money. We report to the council when they're overspending, when the mayor's overspending. We report when the revenues are coming in, when they're going up, when they're going down. And our principal job is to call it as we see it, to tell the truth and let the policymakers make the hard decisions, because they all would like to do more. But if they don't have the money, if the money doesn't last all year, nobody's making good decisions. The neighborhood council budget advocates, the neighborhood council system, are an incredibly essential component of that system. You help us watch departments, you help us watch priorities. There's nothing that says our priorities like the budget. Are we giving more money to aging, or more money to youth, more money to rec and parks, or more money to homelessness, more money to the police? While our budget is huge, and your experts all know that, almost $25 billion for the city, most of that is actually restricted. We have less than $5 billion, yes, still a big number, that we get to decide what to do with. And historically, most of that's gone to public safety, because where the rubber meets the road, that's what people want to see. Recently, though, we've been spending more attention, more of our heart, and more of our money on homelessness. Last year, the voters, both in a sales tax measure that was countywide and in a local measure that was in the city of Los Angeles, said they would put their pedals to the metal and give their tax dollars to helping to address the city's homeless crisis. That's the one new thing, I think, that my office has been spending more time than almost anything else as a new task. For the city, for the residents, I ask you to get involved. Certainly the neighborhood council system is an organized system in which you can get involved, but it doesn't have to be that. You want to be a budget advocate? Start watching the thing you care about. If it's aging, start watching our aging budget, the county's aging budget, the federal budget. You can do that through us, through the city, through our information, but also through nonprofits in your neighborhood that care about senior services. If it's animals, watch our department. Watch policy in Sacramento, watch policy in Washington, follow that budget. Actually, when people call their legislators, when they call their council member, when they call the mayor, when they send their note in that's personal, they're actually read and listened to. There are a lot of sort of group things that come in where one community is told to all send the exact same email and they send it. They're read, but if there's a personal, I care about the zoo, I care about the animal enclosure, I care about the cat spay rate, it really matters. Get involved. That's the way you make me keep on my toes. Thanks.
While tackling the financial issues our city's facing might seem like a monumental challenge, working together is the only way to solve them. Coming to Regional Budget Day is taking the first step. So please, take that second step and stay in touch with your budget advocates, and our committee will continue to make sure that our priorities are the priorities of our elected officials down at City Hall. Have a great afternoon, and thanks again for coming out.
So talk to us. Now is the time. Now is your opportunity. We're here to listen. We're not here to preach. This is not regular budget day where we tell you all about the intricacies. This is your budget day to tell us about all the issues in our city. Our people are here. We're listening. Our ears are open, and we're ready for you. Come on, tell us what's going on in your community. Thank you.